What is up, YouTube? That's Ian today. I'm back playing some more Pokemon VGC Reg I Wi-Fi battles. Today we're busting out a really cool team that features one of my favorite Pokemon, and that's going to be Haxorus. I actually think Haxorus could be the answer that the meta needs to check those pesky Miraidon Cali-I teams. Haxorus has a really cool ability called Mold Breaker. It lets its moves bypass opposing Pokemon's abilities. So for those of you guys that don't know, the common Miraidon teams use things like Miraidon, Cali-I, Farigiraf, Whimsicott, what's a couple other ones they use? Grimmsnarl. These are all things you can lead a Haxorus into and go turn 1 Life Orb Adamant, Mold Breaker, First Impression. First Impression is a really cool move. It's going to be +2 priority, can be only used the first turn that a Mon comes out, just like Fake Out does. But you're going to be able to OHKO those Whimsicotts if they're Covert Cloak and not Sash. You're going to be able to OHKO those Farigirafs. Yes, they have Armor Tail. Yes, that blocks priority moves. Mold Breaker ignores that. One-shot the Farigiraf. You're going to be able to really chunk those Grimms and threaten to KO even some bulky sets. You're going to be able to do massive damage to the Miraidon, OHKO their Cali-I, and I don't actually think a lot of people are going to see this coming. So I think this is like really good tech against those common cores. And then you may be thinking like, well, yeah, even if you kill the Farigiraf or the Whims, well, how do you beat the Miraidon? The Miraidon's the problem. Well, we're going to be pairing this Haxorus with a Choice Specs Calyrex Shadow. I know it sounds super standard on paper, but honestly, Choice Specs Cali Shadow just one-shots Miraidon. If it's single target, which it is if you OHKO their teammate. So really cool stuff. And again, even if they wanted to lead like Miraidon and like something else like that's slow, like maybe like Iron Hands or you know, like an Urshifu if they had it or something, you could actually throw the First Impression into the Miraidon. Even if they went Fairy Terror, they're still going to take enough damage to put them within range for a spread Astral Barrage. So I'm just kind of trying to flowchart and come up with cool anti-meta ways to capitalize and punish those really standard teams that we see so much of on the ladder. If you guys like this sort of content and you want to support it and you want to see these anti-meta mons take over the meta, think about dropping a sub on this channel. We're still trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. We're doing our absolute best to get there as fast as possible. I know we probably get about like 5 or 10 subs today. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that watches my content. I really appreciate it, and I really like making these fun and creative teams. If you guys want to use this team, it's going to be up on Patreon as well. Let's go over the EVs on a lot of these mons. This is just going to be a full special attack speed Timid Cali Shadow. Same thing for the Torn. We're rocking the Sash Torn here. I also really like the Taunt. It's very good. I think Torn Ursh is still really good. This is just a full speed attack Adamant Urshy Water, double dip in the Water Terra. Very good against all the Koraidons we're seeing right now. The Haxorus EV spread is just speed and attack. The Zenta is going to be like full bulk on the Zenta set. It has like a little bit of speed up, heavy defense, heavy HP. It's also not rocking Wide Guard. I like the Snarl tech. This is how I like to play Zenta, and I think it goes very well when you pair like Zenta and the Rillaboom here. These guys being able to use the Grassy Terrain to heal up the Zenta. Very solid set. This is going to be a 0 speed reduced Rillaboom, so you can undercut those indies if need be to make sure you can actually take it on the first turn. So that being said, we're going to hop into some games. Wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, here we go. A little bit of Sun here with Koraidon, Lunala. I'm thinking Haxorus might actually be a pretty good bring in the back here. It's great into Rillaboom. It's great into Incin if you're not intimidated. It's usable into Koraidon. It's better into Whims. It's actually made to beat like Whims and Farigiraf and things like that. But it can also do like really good damage into a Lunala if we've broken their Shadow Shield. So that being said, what do I really need to do here? I think I could just leave Torn Ursh. Like, I'm trying to look at like Torn Ursh as a problem, and the only thing that I'm really seeing is like maybe they bring their Torn or something like that. But I think like these seem pretty good on paper. I think Haxorus is like a great cleanup sweeper. It can Revenge KO Flutters. If there's Sash, that's going to be Sash Flutter on that team. So yeah, I think this is fine. I think that Calyrex is going to have its work cut out for it. I think what we're probably going to do is go for like turn 1 Rain Dance, Surging Strikes to hopefully get a KO on something, and then maybe from there stagger that Tailwind if we let them Tailwind first, and then try and bring out Shadow Rider, trade 1 for 1 or 1 for 2, and then close out with Haxorus. It's kind of where I'm thinking this one's going to go. So again, not getting intimidated is like a really important part of this Haxorus set, and now they can fake out whoever they want, but if we turn off the Steroid from the Orichalcum Pulse, like, we don't really have to care that much. So, and you can fake out the Torn too, I guess. Do I even need my Terra in this matchup? Like, I could Terra my Torn here, and that would be viable. You're fake out in the Ursh though. But if you're not fake out in the Ursh, this is just a win the game right here. Yeah, that's fine. I don't need my Terra on my Shadow Rider this game at all. You get the instant off the board. I don't want to get wisped. If they make like a weird read and just do that instead. Because I don't really care about the Koraidon, like, at all. And then if this opens up a spot for your Torn, you can't set the Sun with a Sunny Day and set a Tailwind fresh. So I really like this play. And I also like setting the Rain Dance first over the Tailwind. We don't really need the Tailwind. We already have the speed control. And it's best to delay that speed control until you actually need it. So this is going to guarantee turn off the Orichalcum Pulse. I really like this play. Looks like there is no fake out, which means this is the right play, I think. And this also makes it so, like, you're not really going to be doing that much damage. Let's see if there's Rocky Helmet. Citrus, cool. So you're super gone. Flame Charge, maybe? Do I care about Flame Charge? Dang, they would have just ate the Bleakwind in the face, too. Another thing I really like about this, too, is, like, the Bleakwind is just going to melt that Koraidon next turn. What are they going to do? Go Fire Terra, right? That's the thing. Like, this is such a good pin into them, and I don't think we died at, like, a close combat. Drain Punch into Torn? What? Hello? Is it me you're looking for? Dude, absolutely Shadow Realmed. What was that? This looks like AV, then. And that's going to be Flutter, but, like, it's sashed, so, like, honestly, we can just, like, Bleakwind here and run it over with the Surging Strikes. Torn Ursh is still really, really cracked in this format. Mons are just so good if you play them correctly, especially in these close team situations. They don't really know what they're doing. That's a really good Terra. Water Terra Fluttermane. You don't see that one every day, especially on, like, a Sash set like this one. I think we still pick up the KO, though, because we're going to get the Bleakwind hit on him, too. 1, 2, a 3. How many wicks to the center of a Tootsie Pop out here? And, yeah, the Bleakwind should be able to pick up the double KO, maybe? We're rocking a full special attack Torn, so D-Gloom's fine. I don't think we lose our Ursh. Ooh, is that a crit? Is he Specs, then? That's Specs, then. He's Orbed. I was like, there's a damage modifier. There has to be. Then Flame Charge does not KO here. No. And now we just got to set up a Tailwind and win with Shadow Rider. Cool. I vibe with that. Oof! Speed drop would be really cool. Never lucky. Alright, so how do I want to win this then? I'm really liking the Haxorus, but I think I'm just going to come in with Shadow Rider. That's looking to me, because we saw Drain Punch, right? That's really looking to me like an AV Koraidon. Here's the Lunala. I'm trying to think of a way that we lose the game here. I think I see the line. I think I go Tailwind Astral. Just want to make sure my... Can I hit that Lunala? I can Dragon Claw. Cool, cool. That's fine. So I'm going to go Tailwind and Astral Barrage. Now, if you would like to go Protect with your Koraidon, which I don't think you can because I think you're AV, and hit the Calyrex, your Tailwind still goes up, I still get to bring out Haxorus, and you still take like half damage on Lunala. If you Wide Guard, Lunala can't hit anything, and yes, Koraidon can then hit something, but we should be in a good enough spot to be able to win out, I think. I think that's fine, and then I can also, if you don't KO anything, I can just taunt the Lunala and start Astraling again, so this should be a fine play. Obviously, they've already used their Terra. There's the Protect, so it just looks like it's a bulky set. I wonder if they're going to Trick Room me. Haxorus don't care about that. This is going to do a lot, by the way. This is going to do a lot. Big Astral. This is Specs Astral. Are you dead? Like, I don't want to be that guy, but like, are you gone? That's a +1 over here. Oh my gosh, she tried to Trick Room, bro. Look at this guy. Look at this guy trying to Trick Room here. Oh my gosh. I'm supposed to be featuring Haxorus. Why is this the Tornado show? And that's just gonna be game over here. This guy got folded in half like a chocolate sandwich cookie by Specs Astral, and we love to see it. Honestly, we do be loving to see it out here, so we take those wins all the way to the bank. All right, Dozo, full stall. How do I want to break the stall here? I like Haxorus. I think Haxorus is like an actually viable mon. I think Calyrex is usable, but at the same time, like, I really think we need to lead like Ursh and just kind of bully our way through this matchup. Maybe play like a crit on the Dozo with like a close combat. That's probably going to be our best line. I think Ursh and Shadow Rider are probably just the best line that we have. Just rip the rip the damage. And then, like, I don't actually think Zenta's good. I think Rillaboom might be the right play here. Just giving us a fake out pin in the back versus the Eternatus or the Ho-Oh, giving us good value against Dozo or Tinglu or forcing their Terras. Man, I want to use Haxorus, and I have to fight against full stall. Yuck. Yuck. Disgusting. But it's fine. We're still bringing it, so I think we're going to try and have some value. I think Mold Breaker is good into, like, Dozo. If we had ways to boost our stats, right? If we had, like, Dragon Dance or stuff like that, we'd be able to be ignore their unaware. But I think Haxorus is still good, and especially things like Tinglu. Like, that first impression would just cook it. I'm trying to think of exactly what they're going to do here. Do I rip, like, which one of my mons should I Terra here? Because I think we should just do an aggressive Terra. The Tinglu is probably going to be going water, right? So that being said, I could double dip water here and run into Eternatus. And just go like that. And that's good damage into Eternatus. It shouldn't be like Rocky Helmet. That being said, I don't think there's really an issue with just Surging Strikes-ing like really big right there and then just Astraling. I could also close combat the Tinglu. Let's just see what happens here. I don't mind locking into Surging Strikes here, and the reason why I kind of like the Surging Strikes lock-in over the Close Combat lock-in is just because of the Ho-Oh. I'm going to be able to always pin that Ho-Oh, or at least force its Terra, and if we can force the Ho-Oh Terra, like if they're not Terraing here, they're probably going to be saving that for Ho-Oh, which is fine. No Terra, so this Tinglu's just getting absolutely dump trucked on the first turn. That's great. So this plus the Astral should be able to take it out. It'd be cool if we just took it out with just Ursh. And remember, they can't use like a Citrus Berry even if they have it. So they're probably EV trained to live that in every single situation. But losing your Tinglu on the first turn is going to be really not too hot. And it gives me an as-1 boost. Like, let's see. You got like Shadow Ball. Like, what's the tech on this Eternatus? Like, I want to see it. I want to see what you're working with over here. Show me. And there's no more Tinglu on the board, so this Eternatus is going to get hit. They get to hit something hard. Dynamax Cannon. Let's see if we have like enough special attack. I get it's 145 base. Yeah, it does not KO almost without crit. And that's Black Sludge or Lefties. Which one is it? Black Sludge. So that means it's not going to have a defensive Terra, unless that wants to double dip poison. So let's see if they send out like Ho-Oh here. It might be Dozo. Ho-Oh. See, there's the Ho-Oh right there. I'm thinking the right play is actually like try and shove the Ho-Oh in. I know that sounds really weird. I know they're going to go defensive Terra, but like I'm just not afraid of the Eternatus. And we're sitting pretty at +1. And if they do go something like a normal Terra or like a Dark Terra Ho-Oh to be able to block the damage from this Astral, well, I think we're going to be fine. I wouldn't be surprised to see like Protect plays here because the whole point of this team is to stack those pressures. You see, it took me 2 Astral PPs there, and that's why you always want to pair against these pressure teams the Shadow Rider with the Ursh, because it makes it so the Protect is just really disincentivized. Grass Terra is the common Terra here, but we're still going to do really good damage, and I think it's probably better damage against like Ho-Oh than it would be against the Eternatus. Now, what I will say, if this Ho-Oh's Rocky Helmet, like, they're cooking, but at the same time, like, it is Rocky Helmet. Wow, great play from our opponent. We should have really hit the Eternatus thing, because we already saw their item. Rocky Helmet on Ho-Oh is a problem. It'd be cool if I got all 3 of my hits off. Nah, I only got 2. I should have definitely hit, but I was trying to stop Tailwind, right? I didn't want them getting Tailwind up. That being said, let's see how this one goes. I'm only really getting 2 more Astrals out of this. It's going to take me 3 Astral PP here. 1 for the PP and 1 for each of their pressure stacks. And I don't KO the Ho-Oh. Alright, so let's see what they're using here. Is it Recover? And note that they can't have like the full Dozo tech. Sacred Fire. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we're gaming. And they don't even get the burn. Oh my gosh, I got the Haxorus, bro. Oh, I'm cooking. Let's go. Let's go, Hax. Ogre Palm. More like Ogre Gone. I wonder if this O goes. Oh my gosh. Who wants it? So, yeah, I'm going to run this into the Ho-Oh. And then one of the cool things about running this into the Ho-Oh... Actually, I run into the Ogre Palm. It's fine. I want it. You can Spiky Shield. Yeah, you can see I only have 4 Astrals left. Ugh. Let's go. Battle's canceled. Done. So didn't even want the first impression. I think full stall's really good, but it does kind of fall apart when you have like an aggressive Ursh and you lean into it, or you have like a Specs restricted or like Banded restricted. If you put a little bit too much damage in early, like you saw we took out the Tingle in the first turn, they have no real way to like come back and actually play for value. If you play for trades and force them to like crit you out, I think you're making the right play against stall. I also think a lot of these good stall teams have like the Dark Terrors to avoid like Prankster taunts. They have Mental Orbs and stuff like that. You saw the Rocky on the Ho. So I wouldn't say trying to like outplay them with tech is right. I think the best way to beat stall is to just shove their face in with like massive damage. And again, the mon that lets us not lose to that pressure strategy is having an Urshifu that disincentivizes the value of Protect. So pretty good game versus stall, but I want to play with Haxorus. So we're going to go into another game. Wish me luck. Here we go. All right, perfect. We're finally going to get to play against Whimsicott. I can OHKO that thing with a first impression, so they don't even have any speed control. I think what I'm going to do is actually just lead like Shadow Rider and Haxorus. I think these guys are perfect together. We should be able to pop anything else that moves. Let me think about what else I want to do here. I think that, honestly, I really do still like Ursh here. I think Ursh is viable. Ursh is super checked by Regieleki, though. I think you could bring Rillaboom. I just need something to check the Blood Moon. So I'm looking at Rillaboom, and then I'm looking at Zenta here. Zenta's okay. I'll go with Zenta, even though I don't think it's particularly right. Let's try that. So we shouldn't need Tailwind here, because we should be able to just stop it from existing right off the rip. And I wonder if they're going to lead, like, Whimsicott Ice Rider. That would be super dicey, because, like, we can just one-shot your Ice Rider, too. This Haxorus, like, ain't no joke. It's really, like, ridiculously busted. So let's see how much damage we can get done on the first turn. And if they had, like, a Furgraph, we'd be able to break that thing, too. Let's see it. Whimsicott, Miraidon, they're dead. I just won. I'm going to OHKO your Miraidon. You're like, ha, you don't have speed control. I'm going to be able to take Tailwind. I guess the only way we L here is if you're sashed Whims. But like, is cloaked. You don't have Farigiraf. Is cloaked. You act like you have a Sash. Your Sash could also be on Ditto or Regieleki. So like, yeah, the way this works is we just rip this Astral. It's going to be single target in Miraidon Specs. We should be able to get the KO, and this should be able to KO the Whimsicott, and we're using a +2 priority move, right? +2 priority move. Should be able to go before they get the Tailwind up, and then we have single target Astral into them. Oh my gosh. Do I even need the tail? Do I even need the Bug Terror here? I don't know if I do. We're going to find out. Because I'd like to use my Terra on my Shadow Rider, just to make sure a bulky Miraidon goes down. But let's see what they go for. Let's see what they go for. I think we got shots here. This is it, boys and girls. Here we go. Bug Terra, Life Orb, Adamant Haxorus, using +2 first impression against Whimsicott. Survey says, oh, the damage. Oh, it's so much damage. It's so beautiful. Why are you sashed? That's so stupid on this team. Oh my gosh, never lucky. That's fine. We just lose. Ah, I'm so sad. Why weren't you cloaked? Why weren't you cloaked, bro? Because, like, the idea would you KO the Whims, and then the Miraidon takes single target damage. Snarl. Snarl Miraidon, so it's AV. And then, wait, what? That's not me! That's not me! Hello? I'm win? I won. Win's up, I guess. They knew I was right. They knew, right? I don't even know what to say. Like, they knew I was right. We take those wins all the way to the bank, bro. I wasn't even wrong. He's like, that's the tech. I'm going into the builder right now. I still can't believe that last game. That guy was like, you know what? I'm going to the builder, dude. That's so funny. All right, so we get another run back at this. I'm going to try it again. I think that this is the right lead. I think that you should be able to, like, fold over like any of their mons that you want to lead up. If they want to go Whims, Miraidon, you just fold both their mons in the first turn, and then as long as you have a good enough matchup versus their mons in the back, you should be fine. And I'm trying to think, like, what do we have to pivot into for, like, a Shadow Rider? We'd have to win a speed tie at some point between Shadow Riders versus, like, this team. That's a booster Flutter, so, like, I can't KO Flutter with first impression. That's going to be dicey. I think we can bring Tornadus here. And then I'm looking at my Zenta. I don't particularly like Zenta. I don't particularly like Ursh here either. So, but I guess Zenta is probably the right play. It's either Zenta or Rilla, and I don't really need Rilla in this matchup. So let's just try this one again. Holy moly, that was hilarious. I can't believe that guy had Sash Wims. That just didn't look like Sash Wims to me. I feel like Wims should like never really be Sash on Miraidon teams, especially if they don't have Ferrograph. Like if you have Ferrograph as an option, maybe we can talk about that and entertain the idea of Sash Wims on that team. But you need Cloak. You need Cloak. All right, we're going for this back for round 2. Maybe I should run this calc. Because I want to know if I can Terra my Shadow Rider here. So we got here. I'm gonna plug this in. Whimsicott. Here, you guys can see my calc. Right here. And we got Haxorus. So Haxorus, we'll plug in this band set, change it to Adamant, change it to a Life Orb. And then give ourselves First Impression, which we see right there. And then we're double dipping a Bug Terra. So we need the Terra. It's 101 off the Bug Terra double dip off the Adamant. That's what I thought when I made the team. But then we should be able to still OHKO them Miraidon because this is going to be single target Specs Astral. Normally when everyone's like, Miraidon lives you Astral. That's when it's AoE. Not when it's single target because this Whimsicott should be going down. Let's go. No Sash. Sash is cheat. Oh, a Terra. All right. Is he going to go Fairy Terra Whims, bro? Nah, he's going to go some sort of weird Miraidon. Fairy Miraidon? Ha! What now? Another thing I could have done is also if they didn't lead Whims and they just led with something that was slower than Shadow Rider, I could have just went First Impression Astral to cover up for the fact that it would still be AoE. So if you led something like Ursh Miraidon, I'd be able to just double into the Miraidon with Astral First Impression and just get a double KO. Alright, let's see it. No Sash. No Sash. No Sash. Sash is cheat. No Sash. Let's go. Let's rip it, Haxorus. Let's go. Oh my god, it's always Sash. And then I crit that one. Why are they all Sash Whimsicott today? This guy has a Shadow Rider on his team. Why isn't that the Sash mod? I don't even understand my life today. That's so dumb. That's like actually, it's like actually wrong, you know? It's fine. Like, I'm gonna get these beast boosts. That was a weak Miraidon. Is that AV? No. If you would have gotten the KO on my Haxorus, stupid Bug Terra, right? I would be able to come out with my Torn, stagger that Tailwind, and like win the game. So, but now I gotta pivot some more. I'm gonna have to go for a double swap and not lose my Torn. I think I just let Haxorus Venu. What do you think you do out here? That's weird. Alright, we gotta pivot out the Kali. That happens. Like, Kali has to pivot. Pivot in the Zenta. I guess the right play is to protect the Haxorus, but like, I don't need this Mon for like any reason at all. Yeah, I'm gonna protect it though. And then we're gonna make you KO something, and I'm just gonna come out with my Torn and my Shadow Rider and just full both your Mons. Because you can only have one Sash, right? You can only have one. Here's the Zenta. Big protect. I'm still so sad that the Sash wins, man. Degu's fine. Zenta don't really care that much. It's a pretty bulky Zenta spread. Yep. Sludge Bomb Zenta slot. Whoa. Oh, Sludge Bomb Haxorus. That's fine. Alright, so they can't go for... They can't really do anything in the Zenta. They can't. So, like, I can go for a Snarl here. Because they're going to have to, like... probably pivot out. And we just let these guys fold. I'm going to double into the Miraidon. Ooh, not with the Dragon Claw, though. Do I double with Dragon Claw? Like, no. That's fine. Just take some damage. And I do not care if you get a double KO, you get a single KO. I don't need to protect the Zenta. I think that you're using Specs Miraidon, but, like, I don't know what the spread is. It seems a little weak to be Specs. So it might be AV, but yeah, we're just going to lose the Haxorus this turn. That's completely fine. I don't think you can KO my Zenta, even with an Earth Power here. And even if you do, I just get to go out like Tornadus, Shadow Rider, like, you know, GG, shake my hand. So let's see it. Sleep Powder. There's a terrain on the board. I was going to say, like, I didn't even think I needed to mention that, bro. You set that terrain. And now that's a Sash, not Sash, Focus Band area for Venusaur, but special attack trap on that Miraidon is huge. We come up with Torn. We stagger the Tailwind. If Torn goes to sleep, that's fine because Shadow Rider folds these because our Terra's already down. So we should be able to win here. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep snarling. All right, you can hit this Torn with a sleep powder. I will allow it. Don't crit my Zenta, please. Oof. Nice. That's good. Now let's see what they got. Sleep powder, sludge bomb. He's just going for damage now. This guy can't pick what he wants. Their Tailwind is now donezo. It is now time to start dealing lead damage, I think. Yeah, that's body pressing them around is probably right. And then just Bleak Wind. Like, this will do something. Venusaur's going to protect. Cool. We always target the ones that cannot protect just to get those guys off the board. And that's going to be that obvious, like, Specs and or AV Miraidon. Let's go. Rip it good. Ba-da-da-da-da. Rip it good. So, yeah, our Shadow Rider should be able to fold this as long as we're not losing too much tempo. And, like, getting our Tailwind ran out on, like, the last turn. And then having to force a Shadow Rider speed tie. We should be good. Unless they got, like, Scarf Shadow Rider, and then it's not even a speed tie. So we need to make sure we always have a Tailwind up. So I think what we're going to do here is we're going to Snarl Bleak Wind. I kind of want to go Snarl Protect. Just to, like... Let's see. Let's see if I need to go Snarl Protect. Because I don't care if you KO the Zenta here. And I don't want to get put to sleep. 2 turns Tailwind. Snarl Protect lets me then lose the Zenta here, bring in my Shadow Rider, threaten with another Astral while Tailwind's still up, and then Bleak Wind. And then also, if you protect that turn, then I can just restagger my Tailwind and win the game. Cool, I like that. So Snarl Protect is the right play. I don't have Protect. That's not good. Do I taunt anything? Yeah, the right play then would be Snarl, Taunt, your Cali. Because that way you can't protect with it to wait out my Tailwind. Hey, that's the right play. The protect this turn stops that taunt. And then, like, it makes it so... Oh, it's going to get dicey here. I should have just taunted the Venu to stop protect Sleep Powder. But at the same time, like, I really thought they'd have, like, a choiced Cali. This guy's team's, like, items are all over the place, right? What I'm thinking about still is, like, I think Zenta still has a ton of value with Snarl into their Cali. They Sleep Powder the wrong one. Did they, though? That's a hard... I wish I had... I don't have... I hate this. I don't have any... My guarantee win here is to get a speed drop off the Bleak Wind, but I can't retail win here. I need to Bleak Wind, yeah. It's a great protect there to block the Sleep Powder. Let's see, I gotta get a Bleak Wind on your Shadow Rider. Otherwise, it's a speed tie city here. And then I miss. Oh, dude, not like this. At least we know they're not Scarf, so it's always gonna be a speed tie. But, you know, there's the Astral. Can I win a speed tie? Can I just win, like, one speed tie? One speed tie win. It sucks we had to, like, get the game to come to this. Maybe... No, I think that I did think I did some good plays. Maybe I could have made a read and taunted the Venu. But, like, you know... He's orbed. Yeah, orb is a good item. I just gotta win a speed tie. That's what it comes down to. One speed tie win. And I win the game. They're going to protect with their Shadow Rider. They're going to try and Sleep Powder with the Venu. But I think that we KO it with Specs Astral. Plus, you can also just miss. Cool. Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with them trying to protect Shadow Rider. Oh, I just won the speed tie. Yo, let's go! We're gaming. Ooh. All right, we won. Yo, shout-outs to me winning the speed tie. Sometimes lucky, but... Man, what's up with these Sash Whimses, bro? Where are their Covert Cloaks? Especially on Close Sheet Ladder. Like, where are the cloaks out here? That's like Whimsigott's best item. Alright, Grim Snarl is something that can get O-code by first impression. I think I'm going to bring Haxorus in the back for this one. I think that Tornursh is just really, really good into, like, Chi-Yu Flutter shenanigans. I think it's good into Grim. I like it. I think that these are the right ones for this matchup. Remember, my Zenta does not have wide guard, so I can't realistically bring it in this matchup. And I wonder what the items are going to be on these mons. I think this is still probably Sash Flutter, but it could be Booster, even though there is a Koraidon on the board, so you can actually still correctly pair it with Shadow Rider and Chi-Yu. I think it's so weird when people use Sash Flutter on these Koraidon teams and they pair it with Chi-Yu. The lead doesn't work the same way without Booster Flutter being able to like Icy Wind and do good damage. So that being said, I still think it's probably Sash Flutter, probably Light Clay Grim, Scarf Chi-Yu, AV Rilla, Life Orb, and or Clear Amulet Koraidon, and then like what's the item on the Shadow Rider. So that's why I'm thinking it might be Booster Flutter Sash Shadow Rider. It could still be Life Orb Shadow Rider, and if we see Life Orb, or if we don't see Clear Amulet on Koraidon, it'd be vice versa. So those are my thoughts here, and we're going to get into this game and see what happens. And I think Haxorus in the back might be pretty good. It makes it so, like, even if I lose Shadow Rider, as long as I chunk something, like, I can just come in with Haxorus, and even if you have, like, a Koraidon, I can just go, like, whapa, you know, and just, like, whip out that Bug Terror first impression and just dump truck a Koraidon. Like, I'm all about that. So let's see what happens here. Ursh is going to be really good against Chi-Yu. Grim Koraidon. That's fine. I wonder if it's going to be what kind of Ursh this is. Sorry, not Ursh. I wonder what kind of Grim this is. Are you going to go Screens? You're not obviously not setting a Reflect versus this. Are you going to be Taunt? I doubt. Are you going to be Thunderwave? That's highly possible. I think the right play, just like the last time, is to just go for the Rain Dance and turn off the steroid boost from that Koraidon. And then I'm just going to go after the Grim slot. Honestly, I don't really need to respect the Koraidon this turn. So let's see what happens here. And I think the worst case scenario is Thunderwave into my Ursh. That'd be really obnoxious. And I don't want to go Water Terra and just make sure I get the Grim off the board. I don't think we need to do that. I actually want to keep my Dark typing intact so Chi-Yu can't just come in and rip like a Dark Pulse into me. Like if I go Water Terra, you know, Surging Strikes, Rain Dance into that Grim and they just turn one Thunderwave me, like that'd be a game loss. That'd be too deep. There's a Thunderwave. See? It's almost like I play the game, right? It's almost like I play the game. Because now even if it doesn't KO, like I'm still fine here. As long, I mean, it'd be nice to hit him, right? Flame Charge is fine. Next turn, that Bleak One's about to be popping. Can I please hit a Surging Strikes? That'd be so cool. And he's Orbs. That means that, like, let's see. And this Grim's going to go down here, too, I think. Huh. I wonder if you can EV Train Grim to really eat that. I bet you can. That might be something worth respecting. They're probably not thinking of Rain in these teams. But you see how, like, we're in a much better spot versus, like, Chi-Yu now, to where, like, we don't just automatically lose to it. And what are they going to do? Terastallize their Koraidon and eat a Surging Strikes in the face? I think this is a good line for me. I wonder if they send out Chi-Yu, that means they might have Psychic. And I almost took Psychic Chi-Yu to Worlds last year. I think it's a really, really cool set. What is the play here? I'm gonna Tailwind. And there's a Speed Booster. It is Booster Flutter. I was able to analyze that from the team preview. Go me! Go me! Which means that's probably going to be Sash Shadow Rider since we don't see the Orb. And we don't see the Sash on the Flutter. Which means it's Scarf Chi-Yu, AV Rilla, very, very standard. So that means the last one should be that Shadow Rider with a Sash. Haxorus is gonna dump truck that guy. Getting up a Tailwind here is gonna be really nice. And I think we actually still just Surging Strikes the Flutter to get it off the board. Pivot out Koraidon. Now, I could have hit that Koraidon with the Surging Strikes and just dump truck the Calyrex right here. I don't think that was, like, necessary. I think getting up a Tailwind here is going to be just as viable. A Tailwind will lead to, like, Tornadus and my Shadow Rider pinning their Shadow Rider. So I think we win just by getting up this Tailwind, honestly. It'd be nice to get a Surging Strikes off, but we'll see. Perfect. That's fine. We don't need to, like, have any... You got a crit there. That's fine. You can have normal Terra on your Flutter, which would be a problem. Let's be real. Call it what it is. A problem. Normal Terra on your Shadow Rider would be a problem. So let's see how we want to deal with this problem. Is there a way to deal with this? Nope. You can't do it to both. That's the way we deal with it. They can't both normal Terra. No one Terra'd. That's the game right there. No pivot Koraidon? Like, oh, double protect? Okay, cool. They're just seeing what we lock into. That's completely fair. Weird. Maybe they thought we were gonna like go for a pivot or do something as bait. But like I'm making them think that we're sashed, right? That's what I'm doing. I'm doing everything in my power to make them think that we're sashed. And so I want to see if they pivot out for Koraidon. Let me think about this. I think what they're gonna do is, oh, this is such a hard line, right? I kind of want to Terastallize my my Calyrex to make sure I can just KO that Koraidon. But I think Koraidon, as long as I hit the Blink when it goes into it, we're fine. Turns on Tailwind R2. Just rip the Astral. Save the Bug Terra for the Koraidon. No Terra! That's game. What? Yo, what? They probably double dip Ghost on the Calyrex, right? And then the Flutter probably double dips Fairy, which means you don't have a double dip. And this is the value here of keeping people honest. People are going to be in the comments like, he's just bad. And it's like, no, like he has aggressive Terras, not defensive Terras. And we correctly utilized our speed control and we kept him honest. That's what that's called. It's called keeping him honest. If they would have a normal Terra, they still would have had to trade one of their Mons, right, to do something if they had like normal Terra Calyrex or normal Terra Flutter. But then I just bring out the Haxorus, and if you have to normal Terra, you get popped by that first impression. And then Torn kind of 1v1s the Koraidon. You see the value there? So I still think we were fine. And yeah, in this situation, I don't need a Bleak Win. But like I'm thinking, I'll just Rain Dance, it's fine, I don't care. That's game. I wanted to use Haxorus though, man. You know, we got a couple Haxorus games. We popped 2 Focus Sash Whims. Oh my gosh, never lucky, right? But let me know, what do you guys actually think about the Haxorus tech? Like, what do you think? Do you think it's good anti-meta tech versus Frigoraph? For everyone that still doesn't understand, you go through the Armor Tail with your Mold Breaker ability. So they can't go like Miraidon and Frigoraph to outvalue our potential Rillaboom leads. Right? And that should be like super standard. Like anyone that knows the matchup knows that you should lead like Zenta or Shadow Rider Rillaboom into that team. And you know, we can always lead Haxorus. Haxorus breaks everything about that Miraidon tech. You can one-shot the Covert Cloak Whims. You can one-shot the Frigoraph. You can go into the Miraidon, and even if they go Fairy Terra, the fact that you're pairing it with a Shadow Rider and that's using like Specs Astral means you actually still do enough damage to OHKO the Miraidon even if they go Fairy Terra. So I think if you're like having serious problems with just Miraidon, Cali-Eye, like Whims, Frigoraph, Grim stuff, I think that Haxorus could be an answer to that. And that's one of the reasons why, you know, we make daily content on this channel. Remember, we're still trying to get to 50,000 subscribers. If you guys like the ideas we talked about today, you like these daily Reg Eye videos, think about dropping a sub. Help us get to 50K. We're currently at 44,800 and some change, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this team, and other than that, peace out. I'll see you guys next time.